Yeah, ego driven, right? Ego driven society, that's right. And entertainment, that's right. That's what our society's about. Is entertainment and ego. That's right. I look around me, and the more I see, the more disgusted I get, actually. How we have ego driven people. We have people that are up here. They may be somewhat awake. They're aware of the Masons. They're aware of NWO. They're aware of their pyramids. And on and on and on. But you know, when I really look, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of the younger generation. This is all entertainment to them. And I think they think that's what this is just entertainment. Now, I often wonder how many people come along and watch me just because they're finding entertainment in it. They're not serious about anything. They don't want to change anything. They think everything's normal. So, you know, we're on the anniversary day now of a day that you were lied to. You was told a bunch of children died that didn't die. Okay? And I don't think people really care. I really don't. Now, people may think it's funny. You know, you didn't grow up in my generation. Matter of fact, it wasn't even a thought in your mother's brain when I was born, and the generation I grew up in. You didn't exist. By the time you existed, I was already an adult. I was no longer a child. I was growing up for a lot of you people. Okay, and by the time you grew up, at the age I am now, see, and you know what's funny is you get people like this that are the younger generation that have no clue or no inkling to what life was back then. And they're so hooked on everything they got that wasn't here back then, like their computers, their cable TV, that's right, their remote controls for their televisions and for their stereos and for, you know, and the list just goes on and on. Your smartphones, your cell phones. Okay, and the evil that's going on in society has been going on since you was born, you know, and by the time you were aware of it, you really didn't care because you grew up in a screwed up society to begin with. And you come up here online and you see the stuff that even if you don't know what's real or you go real, you got parrots up here. I mean, parrots. People that look and see what people are saying and make some sense out of it, but not a lot, and they agree with it and they go along with it. But yet at the same time, they really don't care. They're getting entertainment out of it. It's entertainment to them. It's entertainment to them. Okay, it's just like with the TFL thing. Okay, the men's rights activists, the people speaking out, the men that are shit and shattered on in society, in a male bashing society, in a male bashing society where we favor one gender over the top of another, they perceive this as normal too, when there is nothing normal about it. It's actually quite evil, but it's entertaining to them, even if they're the one on the receiving end. They'll laugh and they'll giggle and they think it's funny, even though they're the ones on the receiving end. And because nothing's physically affected their life yet, it's entertainment to them. But you know, your entertainment that you're laughing at is the repeat of history with technology involved as we replay history again and again. And that's what we always do, isn't that right? That's because human beings fail to grow up. That's because the people doing this know what they're doing. They wait 70 to 100 years and then repeat. Then 70 to 100 years and then repeat. And they keep doing this over and over, okay? And so by time the generation that lived through massive genocide and tyranny is dead, the people that are around know nothing about it, didn't live it, didn't experience it, don't pay attention, and they go along with this shit all over again and go right down that same road. That's right, the road to their own death. And Nowadays, people see it as entertainment. I find it funny how a retired KBG agent 40 freaking years ago told you what you'd be acting like in this country in 40 years from now when he said it, and you're all doing exactly what he said, every last one of you. So I find that pretty amusing, how this guy could give a 40-year prediction and be so correct about what he said. Be so correct. And that still don't phase you. You just don't get it for the majority of the people out here. You just don't get it. So, you're doomed to repeat. You're doomed to think it's all entertainment until something bad happens to you. Then when something really bad actually happens to you in your life, you're going to be confused, not understand why. You're going to be angry. You're going to be this. And I suppose that's the time I should, that's right, smile. It's entertainment. That's right. I'm enjoying watching you suffer right now. Yep, I sure am. What do you mean they put a gun to your head and forced you over here and they done these things to you? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's entertainment. Now, I know that sounds sick of me, but that's really what people are doing. They're getting their entertainment on watching evil. They're getting their entertainment out of watching others be abused. They're getting their entertainment out of joining in on abusing somebody. And all the stuff they're getting their entertainment out of, they wouldn't want to happen to them. But of course, they believe it will never happen to them. The people in Nazi Germany before everything took place, they all was just like you. They believed it never happened to them too. The people before World War One, yeah, all them people alive back then, they were all just like you too. They didn't believe it would happen to them neither. Wouldn't happen to my lifetime. Wouldn't happen to me. No, not me. I'm above that. I'm better than that. And that's the mentality you carry. You carry the same mentality they did, and the people before them did, and the people before them did, and the people before them did. And that's exactly why they keep getting by with it. They could literally kill millions of you off, and you ain't even going to know what's going to happen to you until you got the gun to the back of your head. You won't be ready for it, no. You won't even be looking for it because it couldn't happen to you. Okay? Because you don't take anything serious. Everything's entertainment to you. And as long as everything's entertainment to you, and when stuff is real and seriously going on in your face, and you're going to think there's nothing wrong with it, and everything, even in history, has been skewed and lied about to cover up truth, then I guess what I'm going to say is this: you deserve what you got coming to you. Yeah, you sure do. If they start dropping bombs all over the place, and you find foreign troops on your street, and they don't give a crap about you, and they come through your door and steal your stuff and shove a knife in your gut, put a bullet in the back of your head, whatever they decide to do to you and your family, I guess it's what you deserve. And I hate to be that way, and I really do, but it is really actually what you deserve. You're only getting what you deserve because this is what cowards get. Cowards get what cowards deserve. Okay? I understand it can be scary for people. I understand it scares the kajeebies out of you. I just like the monetary system controls you. I find that actually pretty funny myself. Because we've allowed their tools to control us to the point that we bend over. And then we say we'll gladly get out our lube and bend over for them because we're so proud of ourselves to go along with. I wonder if you're going to say that when it's for real and it's in your home with a gun in its hand. And it's a foreign troop that your country and your military went over and killed their women, men, and children. And they're pissed off at you because you didn't stand up to your government. Because they fell for the mirage too, just like you did. I wonder if you're going to feel the same way then. No, you're going to say that'll never happen. That's what you're going to say. And that's what everybody that died before you said too. They just acted just like you. You don't realize you're acting just like them. Because you have no way of knowing you're acting just like them because you wasn't alive then. You didn't exist then. And because you didn't pay attention, that's really not my fault that you didn't pay attention. That's your fault. You can't blame you're not willing to pay attention on somebody else. Oh, you can try to if you want, but it don't fly. It don't go nowhere. It just makes you an idiot. That's all it makes you is an idiot. Okay? Because you didn't pay attention isn't nobody's fault but your own. Because you had to go along with for entertainment reasons, you're an idiot. It makes nobody's fault but your own. And people could be mad at me for saying that, but sometimes I guess the truth hurts, doesn't it? Yep, that's really where it comes from. And people can make fun of me all they want. You think you're getting to me because you make fun of me? No, you're really not. You're just showing that you're an idiot. That's all you're showing. That's all you really show. You just really show that, hi, I'm an idiot. Okay, that's really what you're showing. Hi, I go along with anything somebody tells me to do. As long as 10,000 other people are acting just like me, there can't be anything wrong with it. And then mass genocide happens again, and you're wondering why that happened, huh? Have you looked in the mirror? Because, see, all of this is nothing but history replaying itself. No lie. History's replaying itself again, as it always does, because people don't learn. I've often said that mankind's epic failure was their ability to grow the hell up. And they seem to prove that all the time. That I'm growing up, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s. I'm an adult, I'm in my 50s. That's not the definition of a grown up. Never has been and never will be. That's why the epic failure of mankind is their ability to grow the hell up. Then you don't want to take anything serious that's going around you because it's just called entertainment, right? It's just all entertainment. It's fun. It's a bore. It's a laugh, right? It sets a gasp, right? Yep, just like the people before you that are dead from that behavior. And the people before them that acted just like you, they're dead from that behavior. And the people before them that died from that behavior. See, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance don't care and it don't discriminate. It don't care what race you are. It don't care what color you are. It don't care how much money you got. It don't care where you're from. Ignorance is bliss. And it does not discriminate. The only reason history keeps replaying itself is because they steal the truth to you. They cover it up. They cover it up. They manipulate you. They lie to you. And they get people in the mind state that they're in right now in today's society. And once they get you in this mind state, they got you. You've been caught, sucker, because that's what you are. That's what the majority of you are. Okay? And, I'm going to smile when bombs start falling. I'm going to smile when somebody comes through somebody's door, foreign troop with a gun in their hand, and they take out the whole family. Yep, I'm going to smile. And for you people laughing right now here online, listening to what I'm saying that thinks it's funny and ha ha ha, laugh out loud. I wonder if you'd be doing that when somebody's standing in your house with an M16 to the back of your head. I'll bet you won't be smiling then. But guess what? I will be. Even when they have the gun to the back of my head, I don't care, see? Because I'll just tell them you're right. These people in this country do deserve it. I'm with you on that. They sure do deserve it. Yep, they're getting what they got coming to them. Yep, I'll side with them before I die because I don't care. Why should I care? You didn't care. You don't care about what's really going on, so why should I care if something bad's happening to you? That's really what that comes down to. Why would I want to care about somebody who didn't care in the first damn place? Really think about that. Because You care, well, what, about yourself? Isn't that what our society does? It cares about fluff and stuff? That's who you really care about, is fluff and stuff? You fail to care about what's right. You can't fail to care about what's wrong. You go along with the behavior for entertainment reasons because you're entertaining yourselves. So you're just repeating history is all you're doing. You think this is the first time in history that the genders have been divided? No, it isn't. It's just they didn't have the technology back then to go tell everybody that you do now. And they're working their way up to pushing laws and mental health laws to furtherly take more rights away from you. The red flag law that I talked about isn't a lie. It isn't bullshit. It isn't a game. It isn't funny. But you don't see people talking about it, and you don't see anybody angry about it or speaking out about it or trying to stop them from passing that law in your states. No, if you're not in that state, oh, I don't care. It didn't happen in my state. Well, don't worry, it will. And when it does, you won't care about that neither. You're going to be doing what? That's right. You're going to be right here on your computer doing your thing. It's just like when you say, you know, you won't show you. I gave kudos yesterday in a live stream to the people who are real, that are not scared, that are not cowards, who will show their real name and their face. That's right. And not hide behind a avatar, not to hide behind a phony name. That's not them. I gave kudos to these people, all thumbs up, and I did that for a reason. And my comeback, what I always hear is because, well, I'm afraid if I do that, I'll lose my job. And you know what's really pathetic? When that comes out of somebody's mouth that clearly don't have a job. And then well, how would you know I don't got a job? Well, maybe because you just got stupid enough to do live streams 7 days a week at any hour of the day. The middle of the night, the middle of the evening, the middle of the day, the middle of the morning. That's right, the middle of the afternoon. You're up here doing live streams 7 days a week at all times of day, but yet you claim you have a job. No, obviously you don't got a job because people who are really working don't have that time. See, I have that time legitly. I worked my whole life. I held a job. Even when I come online with TFL, I worked 8 to 10 hours a day. Every day. And I raised a kid. And I still made time to do some videos. And I still made time to try to come up and help people. And even when I was working 45 to 50 hours a week and not at home during that time, I still did a radio show and gave up 2 hours of my time every night on a workday after working 10 hours. And then went to bed and got up and did it all over again. You know? So that's really where that comes from. And this person here says the facts you're a hypocrite, Bill. Don't know what a hypocrite is. They haven't the first clue of what a hypocrite is. Okay, they're just up here to try to fire me up to make me angry. That's all. So, but they're not here no more because that's the way I handle a true hypocrite. A true dummy. Okay? Somebody who's really stupid that's here just to make trouble and that's their entertainment. Somebody who's not real. See, I gave up a job not of my own doings. I lost a job from doing what I'm doing online. Did I go away? Did I run away? Did I cower out? No, I didn't. See, I still came back. I still talk about it. It don't matter. Okay, it just does not matter because I'm not going to fall for scare tactics. And if they're going to come and set me up and lock me up or whatever on a fraudulent lie to shut me up, hey, at least I fought to the end. And that's right, I fought to the end. Because I'll fight them right to the end, too. See, so I'll go down fighting. And I've always said that, and I will. Okay? But see, I fight for everybody. And this is what I don't see people doing. I don't see people caring enough to do. Okay? And we're in the shape we're in because of that very thing, the loss of care. Okay? That's really what it is. The loss of care. And why would you ask if I like fishing? Because you're trying to change the topic because you don't like what I'm talking about? That's probably most likely why. Okay? Let's try to change the topic because I don't like what I'm hearing. Is that most likely why you're saying that? I really don't care if you don't like what you're hearing. Okay? I notice you're using the name Freeman. Is that your real last name? I doubt it. If you believe it's because you're a free man, you're not a free man. You're living an hallucination. You're living a mirage. You're inside a bubble. Okay? That's where you're at. That's probably where you'll stay, is inside a bubble, living a mirage, an illusion, a fantasy, a fallacy, because you've never been free. What you call freedom isn't freedom, and then you sit back every year and watch them take more of your rights away from you. And you still call yourself free. You live in a land where they have more laws and more people locked up than any place in the whole face of this earth. But you call yourself free. You could break a law and not even know you broke a law because there's that many laws that's been wrote. And they'll tell you ignorance of the law is their problem. It's yours. As they lock you up. And then if you go, they'll tell you you're supposed to educate yourself that law. And if you go to educate yourself that law, you find out it's wrote in a tongue you were never taught, called legalese. So therefore, you'll have to hire somebody and give them money to read that law to you. You talk about blatant criminal behavior and entrapment, that's what that is. Okay, that's really what that is. So, and so I gave kudos to people who use their real name because, see, these people at least are not scared of, I might lose something or somebody might know who I am or they might know what I look like. Okay? I'll say off the grid shows his face. He may not give out his real name yet, but he at least shows his face. But you don't hear him talking the stuff I'm talking about when he's showing his face, neither do you. It seems he's playing other people's stuff and just there for the entertainment purposes of society. That's what that appears to be when it comes to off the grid. Do I know him personally? No. But I do know what I see. Okay, so when I speak out for men, it's because men are the ones that the war's been perpetrated against. And then you got your recruiters that go into the high school and take these young men out of high school and push them into the military. And if they go over there and get hurt when they come out as an ex-military, then our government is attacking them and trying to make sure they're not allowed to own guns because they don't want the people they trained pulling their guns against them. That's really what that comes down to. And they can use these mental health laws like the red flag law to strip the vet of his right to own a gun. But that's not serious enough for you, is it? So you're going to let them do this, and they've already launched their attack against TFL. They've already put MGTOW mainstream. You think, well, it's a good thing it's mainstream. No, it's not a good thing that it's mainstream. Considering it's mainstream is controlled by the same entity that we're fighting against, owned and controlled by the same entity. It doesn't matter what outlet it is. It's owned and controlled by the same people. And the ones that are independent owners are falling under the guidelines of the same people that are controlling it. And if they don't follow the guidelines, they'll kill their signal and they won't be no longer streaming to the people. So they're bound by the same rules, so it's controlled and owned by the same people. This is what people don't understand. When they let MGTOW go viral on mainstream, it was deliberate. The Huffington Post article, that was deliberate. Just like the phony, baloney, BS shooting with Elliot Rogers. Never happened. I don't care what people tell me. I really don't care if you say, oh, yes, it did happen. I know, and so did Bewitched, and so did I Dream a Genie. That's right, so did Gilligan's Island. Yeah, they really got stranded on that island. I mean, if you want to fall for the illusion, that's your prerogative, okay? It don't make you very smart. It means you'll never really understand what's going on because you're believing a fantasy, a mirage, an illusion, an act. What do you think our government is? They're all a bunch of actors. They give you the illusion that you have a choice. They give you the illusion that you have a left and a right. You know, a Democrat and a Republican, right? That's right. They give you the illusion that you have this. It'll always be an illusion. It'll never be truth. Because you don't have that. You never have had that. People believe they do. I guess as long as you believe you got something you haven't got, then you're fine, right? That makes you feel comfortable so you can keep your back turned to what's really going on. So history can replay itself again. Then when massive people start dying at the hands of other people with guns in their hands, as they tear down your country, which they're doing to this country and been doing to this country, and they start genociding people, and it was all entertainment the whole way across until they came through the door of your home and they had a gun to your head. Then it suddenly wasn't entertainment no more. Then you were suddenly taking it seriously and wanting it to stop. But you know what? By then it's too late. You are just like all the people before you. You just got yourself killed to ignorance. Because ignorance don't discriminate. And that's really where this comes from. And this is why sometimes I get so upset and I just get to a point that I just don't care anymore. And I say that you people deserve to die. Do you say that's just so wrong to say? No, actually, it's not wrong to say. Because as long as real life things keep repeating themselves that cost millions of people their lives every single time, and you don't want to take it serious, and you don't want to understand what's going on, and you want to call that entertainment and laugh at it, then you will deserve what you get. Because if there was a gunman coming through your back door and one coming through your window, and you took that as entertainment as I warned you, and you laughed at me when I warned you, and then it's on the news the next day that you were killed by that gunman, should I feel sorry for you? No. If you're on the fifth floor of a building and it's on fire on the freaking second floor and it's engulfed and I tell you to get out before it becomes totally engulfed and you can't get out and you have to jump to your death because you laughed at me and called me names and it was all entertainment and it was fun because you were busy fitting in with everybody next to you at the time you did it, and you and your group die in that fire, should I feel sorry for you? Hell no. Because if you're warned and you don't take it seriously and you want to act that way, then you're going to die from stupidity. Because stupidity don't discriminate. So yeah, I do get a little fired up sometimes because this stuff that's going on in our world is quite real. Men who can't get someone in their life are freaking discriminated against so bad. Men are out here throwing other men under the bus for their own gain. They're on the job site dumping on each other and throwing each other under the bus for their own selfish gain. Men are throwing each other underneath the bus for a woman. They don't care as long as they score, and they don't care if they got 5 wives. They want all 5 plus yours too. They don't care if you go alone. See, the ultimate selfishness again. The inability to not care. And when you keep placing one gender over the top of your own self, the male gender, and you just keep doing that over and over to fit in, or because you're afraid they may not like you, you perpetuate the problem and you cause that problem to continue to grow. You know, And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. You know, and I can offer sound advice to TFLers, but if they do not take it seriously, then they have their own self to blame for the misery they're suffering. They don't have their own self to blame for the condition they're in when it comes to being rejected in the dating scene, unless they are pulling a Dwayne Holloway and living in their bedroom all day long in their bed and then complaining they can't meet somebody. Because then some woman's just not going to magically knock at your door and say, "Hi, I know you live in your bedroom 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'd like to meet you." That's not how it works. So then you brought the problem on yourself. But if you go out there and you do everything society has told you, and you got yourself a job and you're working and you keep yourself clean and you got a neat appearance and you're just being yourself and you go out there to meet somebody and you keep being rejected over and over and over, by no means is that your fault. But you know, other guys are going to tell you right away, yes, of course it's your fault. You got to better yourself. You got to make yourself better. And so then you try to make yourself better and you try to make yourself better. And then you still get rejected. And then the other guys just keep telling you the same thing over and over. They sure do. No, that's not your fault. But then if somebody tries to give you sound advice so that you don't kill yourself, so that you can go on with your life and not be in misery 24 hours a day, and you can't take that advice seriously when they're actually really trying to help you, then if you don't take that seriously and you keep suffering, then you better go look in the mirror. Because you're actually doing the harm onto yourself. Because you're helping the people who've caused this problem with what they want. And if I tell you that I feel that all communities should have somewhere a support group, a spot where people can go to meet that are TFLers or men going their own way, the men's problems, incel, where we could all meet and we could just get to know each other and talk to each other, and maybe we could go out and we could shoot a game of pool, maybe we could go bowling, go catch a drink together, what have you, and you could meet people that are like-minded. So you have somebody to talk to, because when you can vent, you can relieve stress. This is why we need support groups, is so people can vent. Because you can't keep bottling it up. That'll destroy you, and then by the time it bottles up too much, you explode and bad things happen. Okay, but society, they don't want you to have that support group. They don't want you to have a place to vent. They want to lie to you and tell you that if you're a TFL or you're an incel, that you're dangerous to society. That's because they're trying to shut you up. Because they don't want you to have a place to vent. What they want you to do is blow up and do something bad, so that they can blame you, so that they can furtherly pass mental health bills to take more of your rights away from you. That's what they want. I don't want them to have their want. You didn't ask for the situation. You didn't create the problem. The only way you can create this problem for yourself is if you're going to pull a Dwayne Holloway. If you're going to be somebody that's not going to take responsibility of your own self and not going to leave your home, not going to keep yourself clean and get a job or go out to try to meet people, then you can't blame nobody but yourself. But when you do all these things and you listen to your society, and for you people who went out and picked up the pickup artist industry's BS, and you read it, and you spent the money to buy it, you are making a valid effort to try to. So I won't fault you for that. Who I'll fault is the pickup artist industry, because they know full well where this problem comes from. They know their bullshit's not going to work. They know this before you give them your money. But they're going to be the perfect little salesman, and they're going to lie to you to get your money. But at least you made an effort to do something. So you've got to make that effort, and then when you young men make that effort, and you've done everything everybody tells you, and you're working, and you keep yourself clean, and you're polite to people and you're nice to people and you go out and you socialize with people and then you still keep being rejected over and over and over, and this keeps going on and on and on, you're not at fault. So yeah, we do need spots in every community where incel, MGTOW, TFLers can meet each other in real life, be able to talk to each other to vent so that the stress don't build up. Okay? We do need this. You can meet some real friends then, people that are like-minded. Why do you want to talk to somebody who's asleep at the wheel, who's going to blame you for your problem when you're not the cause of your problem? Who's going to give you bullshit advice that ain't going to work, that you've already tried over and over again? And they're going to keep giving the same advice that you spent the last 10 years doing. And they're going to keep giving you that same bullshit. And then they're going to tell you it's your fault. It's not your fault. They're actually part of the problem. No, I don't think chemtrails make you TFL, but I don't think that. See, the chemtrails are actually there to harm you more than to help you. You know, they put aluminum and barium, they put stuff in the chemtrails that can cause you to become sterile, so you can't have a child. Yeah. It's just like the fluoride in the water has, for the majority of people, it helps to make you docile, make you not want to fight back. And it actually, for some people, it actually attacks their bowels because of the chemistry in the body. Okay? The frequencies they're using are dangerous for all of us because that's part of their mind control experiments, believe it or not, it is. There's a lot of stuff that's dangerous to us, okay? That these people that have caused this are doing to us because your government is literally in bed with these criminals and they've launched a war against their own people. And this is exactly what's happened throughout history over and over and over and over again. And it keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again because people don't get it. They're not stupid. The people that are running this planet have been running this planet for hundreds of years. They keep passing it down to their children, to their next children, to their next children, to their next children, to their next children, and keeping the control in their own family. And they keep replaying the same things. They'll wait 100 years, 70 to 100 years, and then start all over again, knowing that the people that went through this have all died off now. So now they can do it all over again, and the people that are here won't know about it, and then they'll lie in your history, so when you go through school as a child, you won't be told the truth. So you've been lied to your whole life while you're growing up, and you have no way to knowing that you're being lied to. Come on, you're a little child growing up, and you're going to school, and you started at kindergarten or whatever, preschool and kindergarten, worked your way up, and you've been lied to in every single grade you went to. How are you going to know that? You're not. How do you think they brainwash entire societies? Television sets, magazines, books, movies, music, school systems. Why do you think governments are involved in all of these things, including the dating scene? Control. That's why. Just people need to understand this stuff because this stuff is as real as it gets. And I do feel sorry for young men who grow up and spend 10 years trying to find a girl in their life and keep being rejected. That shit hurts. And it tears you down from the inside out. It'll literally tear you up from the inside out and destroy you. It'll destroy you so bad you go suicidal like this guy recently that killed himself that was TFL. It'll destroy you so bad that you could blow up like dynamite and do something bad like George Sidini did. I don't want to see a George Sidini. I don't want to see a TFL killing himself. They didn't do this to themselves. And when men get angry over what's going on, they have a right to be angry. But all these people that think they don't have a right to be angry, if you deprive them of their food and water, they're going to be angry. Then you're going to turn around and use their own shaming tactics and tell them, why are you angry? You're dangerous to society. But see, they'd have a right to be angry. Well, so do you people. When this happens to you, you have a right to be angry. But you have to control that anger because these sick people at the top want you to be angry. They want you to be so angry and they want you to shut up about it and bottle it up because they know that eventually you'll explode from this. And if you kill yourself, we'll just call you weak. We'll dismiss you and call you weak and that you are no good for society anyhow, okay? And if you blow up and pull a George Sedini, then they say yes, because they get to use mental health laws to do what they want to do. Why do you think they buck us so hard when I say that we need places in every single community where incel, MGTOW, TFL can go to meet each other, to socialize, to meet friends, people you can talk to that are living the same BS from the system. That's why you need this, because then you have somebody you can talk to, you can vent. Everybody needs a spot to be able to vent. And you can't vent in normal society now, can you? You already know you can't. You've experienced it. You're told it's your own fault. You're called names. You're mocked. You're made fun of. You know you've all experienced this. I know you have. You know you have. So what are we doing? Why would MGTOW and incel be fighting TFLers? Have you ever really thought about that? What are you doing? Why are we fighting one another? We shouldn't be fighting one another. We didn't create the problems. And you can't totally hate the women or blame the women when you understand how it came down and who done this to us. Figure this out, okay? If we flipped the roles around and the powers to be did it the other way around, the men were getting all the privileges handed to them. They wouldn't want to give up their privileges neither. Do you follow what I'm saying? I thought men going their own way, MGTOW, was probably one of the best ideas that I ever seen. TFL was here before MGTOW, but when Barbarossa came up with the idea and said MGTOW, I thought that was probably one of the best ideas I've ever heard. You know why? Because of the mass numbers of men literally, really walked away from women. I'm not talking about lying and say you're going your own way and you're one blowjob away from dumping on another guy. I'm talking about really going your own way. If men, the mass numbers of men walked away from women for 5 years, that's all it takes. 5 years. And women were forced into TFL because all of you guys rejected them, they would get a real eye-opener, wouldn't they? And the programming that's been brought down would be destroyed by that eye-opener. Then we would stand a chance of straightening out society. But see, MGTOW was a threat to the people at the top. So they infiltrated MGTOW right away. Why do you think I'll get angry at a MGTOW that comes up and says, I'm practicing pump and dump? That's exactly what the elite want. Are you going to claim you're a MGTOWer while you're out there jumping through all the hoops to try to get into some girl's pants? You're defeating the purpose of MGTOW. If it was used for what it should be used for, do you realize how much power we could stop the women's behavior and overturn their programming? Because when women had to go 5 years and the majority of the men in society are rejecting them, you flip the script. When you flip the script and you reject them, you know what's going to happen? Give it 5 years and you got massive numbers of women. They can't get one guy to hit on them. That's right. If that could happen, the programming that they put into us would be abolished. Why do you think the powers that be at the top came into MGTOW right away. Why do you think MGTOW was on mainstream media before incel? Because men going their own way was a direct threat against all of the social engineering they done to divide us. Because that could undo what they did. So when MGTOW first come out, man, I was all aboard with that. I was totally 100% on board with that. Because the truth is that would overturn what they've done. What do you think? You got men out there now preaching game. You got men out there preaching pump and dump. Okay, you got men out there jumping through the hoops to still try. See, as long as you keep placing that female where they want you to, the problems that we're living are not going to go away. You have to overturn it. But I have observed and I have seen people that get pissed off when I bring up we need a spot in every single community worldwide where men can go to meet other men that are MGTOW, that are incel, that are TFL. That is needed. Because you have the right to be upset and angry. I'm not calling you dangerous to society because you're upset and angry. Hell no, you're not dangerous to society. You're upset for a damn good reason. Just like with all the male bashing in the media and Hollywood, in commercials. None of that was an accident. That is divide and conquer. That's why I've always said this is NWO related, because it is. It always has been. It's understanding what really took place and where the problem come from. Okay? That's why I was always on board with MGTOW. MGTOW didn't know it because I got offended by the fact that you were destroying what it was really meant for. Because if you actually followed men going their own way for real, you could overturn the problem. Okay, you really could overturn the problem. Okay, because I'll guarantee you women would not like it if they had to go the next 5 years. If you could get the mass number of men on board and women could not get a man in their life and no longer had to say so because men went their own way, that would be a big wake-up call that would cause their programming to go whoo right out the door. Then things would change. Then we could turn this stuff around. But that's not going to happen unless we do that. And meantime, while it's not happening, because that's not happening, I think that we do need a place that we can go, like-minded, to meet other TFLers and MGTOWs and incels. And we shouldn't be fighting one another. You got to realize if you're incel, if you're MGTOW, okay, you're TFL, and why people, when Steve says the majority of MGTOW are TFLers in denial, and I agree with him, because we don't see men going their own way. That's why I agree with him. Don't you understand that? Why would you want to be ashamed of the label TFL because you didn't create it unless you're sitting at home on your bed doing nothing? That's why I say what I say. Because unless you're at home doing absolutely nothing, you're not the fault for it, okay? You can be the fault for your own demise, but the majority isn't. So why would you want to be ashamed of something you didn't do to yourself? What we need is to come together. What we need is to respect one another. And if we can do that and we can have spots in every single community where people could go, at least you've got somebody you can meet that's like-minded, that will not be using shaming tactics that you know will happen to you otherwise. So you can meet some real like-minded friends and you can talk, you can vent. You can get the anger and the frustration out. That's needed. That's always been needed. And when I bring this stuff up, every time I bring it up, you got some idiot that wants to destroy that. And the reason they want that destroyed is because they don't want you having that neither. That's right. They don't want you having that neither. They want to deny you of that. Now that's outright evil. And anybody that denies you of that is a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. And if you attack them, it's because they deserve attacked. They have no right to try to take that away from you. That's sort of like saying, shut up and suffer and die in silence. Because I don't want anybody else realizing that they could actually have a life. That's what that's saying. So these people are evil as shit. And if they're going to go right back to mainstream media and say that my advice isn't to try to help you, and that I'm trying to hurt you, and that I'm dangerous to society, then you know who they're working with. They're working with the powers to be. They're siding with evil. How many of you people have actually witnessed and recognized the advice they're giving you? You've already followed over and over and over again. And did it work out for you? Come on, you've already done it. Did it work out for you? No, it didn't. And you know it didn't, or you wouldn't still be here. So why would you want to take that advice seriously in the first place? There would be no reason to take that advice seriously in the first place. You've already done it. You didn't just come along. I mean, you grew up like everybody else. Your hormones kicked in. You had an attraction like everybody else. You see your mom and dad or what have you. And nowadays you see more or less of dads and you see more moms raising their children because there ain't a dad in the family. Isn't that correct? Then the dad's called the loser, the one that threw his family away. And the majority of the time you find out the dad didn't throw the family away. The mother threw him out of the house and used the family court system to rape him for her own selfishness. You find that going on an awful lot, and then we blame the man. Once again, we go back to blaming the man. That's why I said the war is against men, it's not against women. You know, that's why I act the way I act to people, because this stuff is as real as it gets. You can't get any realer than what it really is. And what are you going to pass a law like I told Steve? What are you going to pass a law thinking you're going to come down on Steve, Hulk, or me because we dared to try to help other people? I show you this. Okay? Because that means you're evil. You don't want other people to have help. That's what that comes down to. So, you know, it's just one of them things. I'm not going to hold back because I never have. But, you know, that's the reason you'll hear me when people get mad at me bringing up MGTOWers. The majority, as Steve Holker would say, that I've said over and over, and Steve and I have both said this, the majority of MGTOWers are actually TFLers in denial. We say that for a reason. Because the majority of you are actually not going your own way. And that is the one thing that we would have to be willing to do if we ever want to stop this problem. Because if we really do it, the powers to be don't like that. That is a direct threat against all their social engineering that's caused this problem. Because it would be true. If the majority of men would go their own way for real, give it 5 years, decade at the most, the women will be now living TFL. And they won't like it. The programming will go right out the fucking door. And it'll all stop. The programming, the social engineering will be destroyed. And the genders would come back together again. And then you would not have TFL and MGTOW no more because people would actually be able to get somebody in their life. But if we don't step up to the plate and do that, then this problem isn't going to go away. It was socially engineered. And MGTOW was the direct tool that would have overturned their programming. That's the reason they infiltrated it. And that's the reason I say what I say. So if you can understand what I've said in this live stream, then you should understand why I say what I say. It's not about hurting anybody. It's about stopping the corruption and overturning it. I don't wish any young man to have to come up and spend years going through being pushed to be alone and then blamed for what they didn't do. But you got to remember, if you sit at home and you hide in your bedroom and you don't go out in public and socialize and you don't go get a job, then you could cause your own TFL, your own loneliness, and you would have nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? And that is fact. You cannot sit at home and stay at home and hibernate and expect to find. It's not going to magically appear at your door. You have to be willing to go out and socialize with people and meet people. I mean, that's just it. The majority of the time when you find a woman, you know how you're going to find her? Through a friend. You know how many people have met the woman they're with through a friend? Happens all the time. Okay? Sometimes they'll meet them on a job, but the most of the time it's through a friend or through another family member's friend that you wind up meeting the girl you wind up with. Most of the time, that's how it happens. But if you're not out there socializing, then it would never happen, would it? See, and in the meantime, while we're waiting and while we're trying to fight this, what's going on, yeah, we do need spots where men can go. There should be a spot in every damn town and every city in this country where, and across the world, where men can go that are TFL, that are incel, that's right, that are MGTOW, to meet one another so that we can vent, so that we can talk, so that we can have a real friend, somebody to hang out with. That should happen. We need that. And for anybody that wants to shoot that down, tell them right where to go, man. Tell them to go to you-know-where. That's how I feel about that. Because it needs to happen that way. If we don't do it that way, then what can I say, man? People are their own demise. They're doing it to themselves. We can come up here and we can give you all the advice. Steve Hoka can come up here and I can come up here. And we can still keep talking, and we're going to. I'm not going away. I'm not running away. And I'm hoping Steve Hoka won't run away this time. I'm hoping Steve Hoka stay aboard this time instead of running off. Okay. I would like to see that happen, and hopefully he will. And we'll be here. But you got to start listening and taking advice and understanding and looking for where the problem come from. And try to understand what's really taking place. And for men going their own way, they need to really understand where the problem come from and how powerful a tool that is if they would actually do it. I mean do it in real life. I don't mean come up online and say you're doing it and not do it. And being ashamed of a name, TFL. That's ridiculous. Why should you ever be ashamed of something you didn't do to yourself? That's just outright ridiculous. And why are we fighting one another? Why is Incel over here throwing other men under the bus and MGTOW throwing other men under the bus and TFL is blah, blah, blah? Why are we throwing each other under the bus? We're all living the same type of damn problems. From the social engineering. Why? That behavior has to stop. And I'm serious about that. And it needs to stop. These are all men's issues. We got to stop competing against each other. It's not a game. It's not an arena. It's not a sport. It's not about wanting up one another to feel bigger. It's not about, I'm a bigger victim than you, so that makes me better. That's insanity. That's being completely nuts out of your mind. It really is. And if you're not insane, if you're not a psychopath or a nut job, then why would we be doing this? See, it is about getting together. It is about us being able to get together. It is about us across the world having places to go to meet people like yourself. So that you have somebody you can talk to and vent to. So that you have somebody you can go out and do things with. That's really what's needed the most right now until we can get enough men on board with really doing MGTOW. Because MGTOW, men going their own way, is the solution. And I'm not talking about men going their own way away from women forever, but it has to happen for 5 to 10 years. And it has to be enough men doing it to make an effect. Because it's the only way you overturn the problem. That would work. That literally would throw that programming right out the door. It would destroy their programming. In the end, it would bring the genders back together again. And isn't that what all of you want to see? Isn't that what all of you want to see? And stop putting women on a pedestal so that they won't think they're above you based on their gender? And you don't think you're above them based on your gender? So that you could have a real friend and a companion that's a female and have a good life? Isn't that really what you all would want to have happen to begin with? I think the majority of you would agree with that. You got to really think about that, because if you want that companion, that friend to grow old with, and somebody to be with of the opposite gender and be best friends with and have a life with, okay, which most TFLers truly want, okay? And for real mid-tollers, if you want the corruption from the female gender to go away, you got to stop placing them on a pedestal. You got to stop putting them above yourself. You got to start putting women in the same situations they put us in. Because it's the only way they're going to stop. Because if you had been pampered and privileged your whole life, you wouldn't want to lose that privilege neither. And you'd fight tooth and nail to keep it. And you deny ever having it. And isn't that what you see women doing? Yes, it is. And who's that fought for that? Men. Social engineering and men. Placing them in that place to begin with. That no human being should ever be placed. Remember when I said power and greed absolutely corrupts the human mind? What do you think you've done to the women? You gave them power over yourself. And what does power do? Absolutely corrupts the human mind. But with that being said, guys, I'm getting out of here, but I wanted to say what I had to say. So with that being said, I'm out of here, and y'all have a good one.